Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Test, test. Test, test, test.
on the Hawkeyes Sports Network. From Learfield, Iowa Hawkeye Softball is brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community by University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes.
Happy Sunday afternoon, everybody. It's time for Iowa softball's final game of the regular season. They're on the road one final time, this time against the Wisconsin Badgers. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Strain, and you are listening live to Iowa softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa Hawkeyes 30-25 on the year, 10-12 in Big Ten play. Getting ready. At this point, it's just bolstering your postseason agenda. Solidifying yourselves as one of the top teams in the Big Ten to try and just play for seeding. In the Big Ten, top 12 teams make the bracket. Hawkeyes in there right now. And it would take a miracle for them to drop out. They can rise all the way up to as high as 7. And there's 4 games that the Hawkeyes are going to be paying attention to at the same time that the Hawkeyes are playing right now. At the moment, Iowa is sitting, let's see, they are 9th in the Big Ten at this point. And we'd be on the road in day 1 on Wednesday. Well, on the road, I mean, it's in Champaign, but they'd be the visiting team if it were to start Wednesday. But they can climb up as high as 7. Sitting in the 7th spot right now is the Ohio State Buckeyes. They are playing the Nebraska Cornhuskers in Lincoln at the same time Iowa plays. Hawks are also going to keep their eyes on the Maryland game because Maryland sits at 10-11 as well. They're playing at Illinois. Illinois having a bit of a struggle of a season this year on the softball diamond, so don't want to assume anything, but you can kind of lean one way that Maryland's going to win that game and move up to 11-11. And then in the 9th spot is where the Iowa Hawkeyes sit, 10-12, have lost 2 straight in Big Ten play. Came into the weekend at the number 6 spot, but have dropped all the way down to number 9. And then 1 spot below them, tied with the Hawkeyes at 10-12, is the Michigan Wolverines. This is a Michigan team that's struggling. They've lost 6 in a row. Have the ladies on the diamond, including 2 straight in this series against the Minnesota Golden Gophers up in Minneapolis. And then Michigan is holding on to that final spot. I stand undercorrected. I miscounted. Iowa has solidified themselves in. They're going to make the tournament. They're making the tournament. And Rutgers is the one last team that could throw Iowa some wrinkles in the seeding spot. Iowa takes the season series against the Scarlet Knights. But Rutgers is 1 game back of the Hawkeyes. If, say, Iowa, Michigan, and Rutgers were all tied with the same record at 10-13, things could get a little chaotic. Iowa, at the moment, holds the tiebreakers over the 3 of them. But as the Hawkeyes never played Michigan this year, it would go on to the next step in the tie-breaking procedures. And the tie-breaking procedures, for those who are curious, at first you're ranked overall by your conference record, against every team in the conference. And then if you're tied, like at the moment, the Hawkeyes are tied with the Michigan Wolverines at 10-12. If you're tied, it goes into your head-to-head. So if you played this season, who won the 1 game or who won the season series? But as the Hawkeyes and Wolverines never played this year, there's no way for them to use that tie-breaking method. So they move on to the next spot, the next way down, and that is your record against the teams in the field, the 12 teams participating in the tournament. And that would hinder the Hawkeyes Because if you take out the final two teams in the Big Ten, Iowa did not play Purdue, but they did play the Michigan State Spartans, and Hawkeyes got 3 of their 10 Big Ten wins against Michigan State this season. So that would hinder the rest. That would hinder their record and could knock them down a spot. But with all the different games going on today, all the different outcomes, well, there's no way for us to predict. Well, there is, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you about the 30 different ways in which this could happen or that could happen and the Hawkeyes would get this specific seed. There's just no way for me to, there's no rhyme or reason for me to sit here and talk to you guys about hypotheticals. When what it really comes down to is Iowa winning today. Iowa wins today and they do the best that they can. The format for the Big Ten tournament, as I've said before, is the top 12 teams make it into postseason play. Michigan State Spartans are out. Purdue and Illinois stand one game in between each other for the 13 and 14 spot. Illinois is one game ahead of the Boilermakers. Illinois is hosting Maryland. And that's a team that we said ourselves we're going to keep an eye on, because if Illinois can pull out the win over the Terps and Iowa wins today, the Hawkeyes would pass Maryland in the Big Ten standings. Hawkeyes just half a game back. Iowa would hurdle the Terps and take over in the 8th spot. But again, so back to what I was saying, the format for the tournament, top 12 teams make it. The top 4 teams in the Big Ten will receive a bye. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8 will all get to play a home game. It's not a home game, but in Champaign, they'd be the home team in the first round matchups on Wednesday. And then they'd be the home team against teams 9, 10, 11, and 12. At the moment, Hawkeyes are the 9th spot and would be considered the visiting team. But again, all it comes down to is today's game. Hawkeyes winning and, more importantly, getting their first run of the series. Have been held scoreless over the first 2 games on Friday and on Saturday. Yesterday, losing by a final score of 9-0. They got mercy ruled in 4.5 innings. Wisconsin had scored 4 runs in the first inning, 4 runs in the second, and came back and scored 1 more in the third for good measure, and defeated the Hawkeyes 9-0 in 4.5 innings. In Game 1 on Friday, Iowa lost 3-0. So in the 12 innings that Iowa's come to the plate in this series, they have not scored a run. It sounds eerily similar to what happened to the Hawkeyes on the road 2 weeks ago up in Minneapolis against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Iowa was shut out in the first 2 games of the series and only scored 1 run in Game 3. They came to bat 23 innings in that series between the 3 games and scored just 1 run. So over the last 35 innings that Iowa has come to bat in road Big Ten games, they've scored just 1 run. The Iowa offense is where they're getting let down. And if we take a look at the starting lineup, this will be the unit that tries to push across the first runs of the series for the Hawkeyes. Pretty much the exact same thing that we've seen, just one slight hiccup. Nia Carter's leading off in right. Tatiana Roman's batting second in center. Tori Bennett is batting third at shortstop. Denali Lecker in the cleanup spot as the designated player. Grace Baines moves up 1 spot from 6 to 5. Batting 5th and playing second base, Sammy Diaz drops a spot. So Baines and Diaz just flip-flopping in the 5 and 6 spot. Diaz is playing first. Avery Jackson starting over at the hot corner and batting 7th. Briley Klosterman is batting 8th and playing left field. And Skyland Pogue is the Iowa catcher who gets the start today. Pogue and Doster have kind of been flip-flopping as to who gets to be the starting battery mate. Pogue gets the nod today. Pogue, the better defensive player. Doster more of a premier bat. We see Doster sometimes gets pinch hit opportunities in the place of Pogue. But Skyland Pogue gets the start behind the plate today. Starting pitching for the Hawkeyes is not Nia Carter, that's the leadoff batter. It's Jalen Adams. Jalen Adams is the starting pitcher today for the Hawkeyes. Adams, who started Game 1 on Friday. She's definitely been the best pitcher in the series for the Hawks. In Game 1 on Friday, she went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, but only 1 was earned. 2 unearned runs against her. You compare that to the other Hawkeyes who have pitched in this series. Brianna Vasquez started yesterday. Got just 1 out in the first inning and gave up 4 runs. Denali Lecker came in relief, but she went 2 2/3, also gave up 4 runs. And Emma Henderson came in to pitch for the first time in Big Ten play yesterday. She went 1 inning, but nobody scored. But again, she just went the 1 inning. Jalen Adams looking to continue what was a good start on Friday. She got the loss, but again, it's because the Iowa offense got just 5 hits in 7 innings of work and failed to score a run. If we look at more in-depth on how Adams did in that game on Friday, we're going to highlight the numbers 1 and 2 spots in this Wisconsin order. Katie Keller and Kayla Conwent. Keller, the leadoff batter, Conwent batting second. Katie Keller went 3 for 3 on Friday. Kayla Conwent went 2 for 3. So the two of them went 5 for 6. Everybody else in the lineup, 3 through 9, went 0 for 15 against Jalen Adams. The only damage against her came from the top of the order. So what was a pretty decent start, you could say, from Jalen Adams was wasted. The Iowa offense looking to score their first run of the series, and we're just about ready to get things started. Maddie Schwartz is the starting pitcher for the Badgers. Schwartz, one of the best pitchers in the Big Ten. She was the one who went on Friday in Game 1 of the series. She threw the complete game shutout and was aided quite a bit, you could say, from some strong Wisconsin defense. The Wisconsin defense turned 3 double plays. Hawkeyes grounded into 3 double plays, which was by far the most they had done all season. Had grounded into 1 before Friday's game and grounded into 3 of them in Game 1 of the series. Nia Carter is going to lead off the game and watches ball 1 up high out of the hands of Maddie Schwartz. So this game is officially underway. 1:02 start time. Iowa Hawkeyes, Wisconsin Badgers. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Strain, and you're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield. Iowa's wearing their black camo jerseys today, something we haven't seen since the Maryland series. Carter watches strike 1 on the outside corner, 1-1. The black camo jerseys, Hawkeyes are undefeated in them, a perfect 2-0. And maybe we wanted to get a little spark for this team. And now Carter swinging, ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Hubbard. Sidearm throw is in time, out number 1. Tatiana Roman will bat for the Hawks now. Roman's hitting 300 this season, just a tad below it. Saw her batting average drop to below 300 for the first time, and then what does she do? Immediately follows it up with the base hit. Batting second today and playing center field. She's swinging first pitch on a check swing, and it just goes right up into the air and is caught by the catcher. So Tatiana Roman wants that one back, checks her swing on the off speed, and just leaves the barrel of the bat out there in front of the plate for too long. So quickly 2 away after just 4 pitches. And Tori Bennett's up for the Hawkeyes. Bennett hitting .303 on the season. In yesterday's game, Tori Bennett went 0 for 2. Has found her spot back into the 3-hole. Was hitting in the 3 spot for much of the early part of the year. Moved down to the 6 after some recent struggles. Found success down in the 6-hole. She watches strike 1 pass. Found some success down in the 6-hole. Saw herself get moved up into the leadoff spot for game 1 of the series. But her and Nia Carter switch places. As Bennett's back to batting 3rd and Nia Carter's back to hitting 1st. And here's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Tori Bennett has the first hit of the ball game for the Hawkeyes. 2-out single into center, and it brings up Denali Lecker. A nice piece where she just stayed through the ball on the outer half, kept her arms extended, stopped herself from rolling over, and has her first hit of the last 2 days. First base runner on board for the Hawkeyes. Denali Lecker's at the plate. Lecker, the DP, swinging a pretty good bat for the Hawks. Swinging first pitch, fouls it in foul territory. And over goes Keller, the first baseman, and she'll make the catch. Just a couple of feet to the right of the first base bag. Hawkeyes get a 2-out hit in the form of Tori Bennett, but are unable to bring her around and score their first run of the weekend. After half an inning, Hawks have nothing. Wisconsin is coming to the bat for the first time today. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the number 1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Jalen Adams gets the ball for the Hawkeyes. He is making her second start of the series, as we said at the top. Had a pretty good game. On Friday in Game 1 of the series, they changed her official stat line, so what was originally a 6-inning, only 1 earned run against her, all 3 runs have now been deemed unearned. So Jalen Adams on Wednesday goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, but none of them earned. 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. One of the 2 players she really had struggles with is at the plate now in Katie Keller. Adams is behind 2-0. Katie Keller went 3 for 3 in that series, in that game. Game 1 of the series, scoring twice. Fouls this one down the third base line, 2 balls and 1 strike. Katie Keller went 2 for 3 in yesterday's game as well, so a 5 for 6 start to the series. 2 of her 3 hits on Friday were doubles off the left center field wall. Watches this one outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Iowa defensively from left field over to right is Briley Klosterman, Tatiana Roman, Nia Carter. And the 3-1 is in and off the fists. And into the netting, the count goes full. The Hawkeye infield. At third base is Avery Jackson, shortstop Tori Bennett. Second baseman Grace Baines, and ever at first base is Sammy Diaz. Behind the plate is Skyland Pogue, and as I said, Jalen Adams is the pitcher. This one's spoiled by Katie Keller, so she stays alive. Count remains juiced. And this off speed is called strike 3. Jalen Adams gets her first out of the game via the strikeout. A beautiful changeup on the inner half. And Katie Keller had no idea what to do with it. We've seen Jalen Adams has been going to that changeup a whole lot more in this series. And she confuses Keller. And she can't pull the trigger. And all of her weight already out in front of her by the time the ball had crossed the plate. Kayla Conwent is up swinging first pitch, fouls it down the third base line. 0-1. Conwent in the series is 4 for 6. Has gone 2 for 3 in both games, game 1 and game 2. Watches ball 1 outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kayla Conwent, one of the all-time Big Ten hitters and definitely the best hitter in the Wisconsin softball program's history. Watches ball 2, miss up and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. I say that, but I mean, there you have the stats to back it up. All-time leader in batting average, OBP slugging, home runs, and intentional walks. And the 2-1 is ripped into left field, back at the wall, and it's gone. A solo home run for Kayla Conwent, and Wisconsin lead at 1-0. Talked about how Conwent is the all-time home run leader in this Wisconsin program. And she shows you why right there. Just turns on the 2-1 fastball and rips it. Absolutely rips it over the left field wall. That ball had a highest point of maybe it was 20 feet in the air. So Wisconsin leads it 1-0. Have scored in the first inning. Now in every game of the series. Adams starts off Brooke Kuffel with the changeup, and Kuffel can't take it. Now she hits a fly ball to deep left field. Back at the wall is Klosterman, and she makes the catch on the warning track. And there are 2 away. I thought we might have had a repeat situation in which we see Wisconsin might have gone back-to-back there. But Klosterman's able to track it down and keep it in the yard. Ellie Hubbard, the cleanup batter and Wisconsin shortstop, will bat now. Swinging first pitch, but pulls it foul down the first base line, 0-1. In this series, Hubbard is 1 for 4. That one hit was a home run. She's also walked twice. That was Kayla Conwent's 10th home run of the season. Hits double digits. Leads the team. Ball 1 upstairs to Ellie Hubbard, 1-1. Pumps it in for strike 2, does Adams. And the count is now 1-2. And the 1-2 is up high and in the eyes, but fouled off. Back into the netting. That is her 43rd career home run for Kayla Conwent. Now ties the total she had in 2022. This one misses outside, count evens. This her 5th year playing college softball for the Wisconsin Badgers. Has been playing since 2017. This changeup is low and in the dirt, and the count's full. Jalen Adams has given up the home run, but has gone full. She went full against Keller, too, in the first batter of the game, so the pitch count's kind of getting up there. This will be your 20th pitch of the inning. And she misses up and outside for the 2-out walk. That's Hubbard's third walk of the series. So the 2-out walk brings up Peyton Bannon, the left fielder, and batting fifth. Bannon and Schlosser, who are on deck, they've flip-flopped between who plays left and who plays center. The alignment they're in today is how they lined up game one on Friday, as this one's pulled foul down the third baseline. But in yesterday's game, Bannon was the one in center field, and Schlosser was out in left. But Schlosser back into center today. Banner goes over to the corner as Adams puts the 0-1 into the zone. Line drive out towards left center. Roman's coming on, and she makes the catch for out number 3. Badgers strike first on the solo shot off the bat of Kayla Conwin. And after one inning of play, they lead it 1-0. Baines, Diaz, and Jackson due up for the Hawks. When we return, you're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Top of the second inning, Grace Baines will lead it off for the Hawkeyes as they trail it 1-0. We take a look at the scores around the league, around the Big Ten. Indiana already defeated Michigan State by scoring 3-1 earlier today. So both of those teams wrap up their regular season. Michigan State, that will be the final game of their softball season, as they will not make it into the Big Ten tournament. Finished their conference record is final record of 4-18. 3 of those losses coming to the Iowa Hawkeyes. Another game that's about to go final. The Maryland Terps are defeating the Illinois Fighting Illini 6-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. There's 2 outs, just 1 out to go in that one, as Maryland is just about ready to defeat the Fighting Illini. Ball 1 misses low to Grace Baines, 1-0. So with that Maryland win, Iowa will be unable, as this one misses low as well. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Grace Baines, the Iowa second baseman. As the 2-0 is swung on by Baines, hits a ground ball to shortstop. Long throw by Hubbard, a little bit high, but pulled down by Katie Keller at first base. And there is one away. Maryland will move to 11-11 in Big Ten play, so the Hawkeyes will not be able to pass the Terps in the Big Ten standings. Another game that the Hawkeyes are taking a peek at as this one goes on is the Ohio State Buckeyes and Nebraska Cornhuskers, as Sammy Diaz swings and misses for strike 1. The Buckeyes are on top of Big Red 5-3 in the top of the 4th inning. As Diaz gets back into the box and watches one low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. But with the Hawkeyes losing, they are in danger of dropping a spot if Michigan, who is tied with them in the standings for 9th. If Michigan were to pull out a win against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, then Michigan would hop over the Hawkeyes. Diaz grounds out to Hubbard at shortstop as well. In a similar spot, fielded by the Wisconsin sixth spot, if you know your statistical scorebook numberings for positions. A 6-3 putout. Quickly 2 up, 2 down for the Hawkeyes. Avery Jackson will look to spoil things. Jackson, the Iowa third baseman, could really use a spark offensively. Is just hitting 125 this year. Watches ball 1 low and inside. This series, Jackson is 0 for 4. Went 0 for 2 in Game 1, went 0 for 2 in yesterday's game. Both ABs yesterday were strikeouts. Swings and misses now, count evens at 1 apiece. The strikeouts continue to be the problem for Avery Jackson, striking out on just about half of her plate appearances in Big Ten play. The 1-1 is skied into shallow left field. Coming on to make the catch is Bannon. For out number 3, she had to sprint in on it. Looked like Avery Jackson might have been able to bloop a single into no man's land. But Bannon came on and made the catch in shallow left field. And the Hawkeyes go 3 up, 3 down. As we're in the middle of the second inning, Iowa trails at 1-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
Bottom of the second inning. It is 6, 7, 8 due up in the Wisconsin order. Jalen Adams still pitching for the Hawkeyes. He has given up just the 1 hit, but the 1 hit was not a good one to give up because it was a solo home run off the bat of Kayla Conwit, and that's how Wisconsin holds a 1-0 lead. Iowa has lost 12 of the last 13 games against Wisconsin, including 6 straight. They've lost the first 2 games of this series and are looking to avoid the sweep in today's Sunday afternoon affair. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Strain. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Swinging first pitch is Molly Schlosser, and she hits a weak pop fly on the infield, caught by Avery Jackson easily. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. It's the second time this Wisconsin lineup has seen Jalen Adams in the series. Adams, who started Game 1 on Friday, gave up 3 runs, however, none of them were earned. Angel Lopez is swinging first pitch as well. Pop fly on the infield, and it's caught by Tori Bennett. And now 2 pitches, 2 outs. We'll see if Riley Crane, the Wisconsin second baseman, will get the take sign. After the first 2 girls in the inning came up and swung first pitch, and both hit lazy pop flies on the infield. Riley Crane, who's getting the start today, did not start yesterday for the Badgers. Watches ball 1 upstairs, so we don't get the 3-pitch inning from Adams, but she can still go 3 up, 3 down. Crane did not start yesterday. Did on Friday, however, went 0 for 2. The 1-0 is outside. And 2 balls and no strikes now. So we'll keep an eye on that Michigan game. Michigan is trailing Minnesota 1-0 in the top of the second inning. As this one's just a touch outside. Jalen Adams is asking where that one missed. The umpire did not expand the zone, however, and the count's 3-0. But Adams puts this one into the zone now. 3 balls and 1 strike. Iowa and Michigan are both 10-12 in Big Ten play. Iowa holds the tiebreaker over the Wolverines with the record against the teams that would be in the field at the moment. As this one is punched foul down the third baseline. And Jalen Adams has worked back from a 3-0 count to make it go full. She's clearing off the rubber. Takes the sign. Into the motion, and the pitch is called strike 3. That curveball just catches the inside corner. And that's the second strikeout of the game for Jalen Adams. And she goes 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. As we head to the top of the third, Iowa still trails 1-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Top of the third, 8-9-1 due up for the Hawks, and Klosterman, Pogue, and Nia Carter. Iowa still looking for their first run of the weekend. We're shut out 3-0 game 1 Friday by Maddie Schwartz, who is the Wisconsin pitcher right now, and lost 9-0 yesterday, where Mercy ruled in 4.5 innings. So they came to the plate 12 innings this season, this series, and are yet to score a run. In 23 innings 2 weeks ago at Minnesota, and they scored just the one. So over the last 37 innings, including the first 2 innings of today's game, over the last 37 road Big Ten innings, they've scored just the 1 run. Leading off the top of the third to try and change it will be Briley Klosterman. She watches ball 1 outside, 1-0. Klosterman, who has moved up and down the lineup for the Hawkeyes, has hit 5th, has hit 6th, has hit 7th, has hit 8th like she is today. And for a little stretch, she was hitting as the leadoff batter. Looking to lead off the top of the third now, is ahead 2 balls and no strikes. In this series, Klosterman's 1 for 3. She had that hit yesterday. And what was just one of the 3 Iowa hits. And she swings, hits a line drive back up the middle for a base hit. That's her second hit of the series. C&I single into center field to lead off the third. We'll see if Skyland Pogue is given the bunt sign right now at the plate. Iowa needs to push across that first run, at least tie the game, get a little bit of momentum on your side. With Nia Carter waiting on deck. Pogue does not show bunt, but the fastball misses upstairs out of the hands of Maddie Schwartz. Skyland Pogue, who's getting the start catching today for the Hawkeyes, is going to get called over and is going to talk to Coach Gillespie. Maybe perhaps she Gillespie wants to put the bunt down now. Has her arm around Pogue, the Iowa catcher. Wisconsin was actually the one who called the timeout. It's a defensive meeting. But Iowa trails it 1-0. The game-tying run is on first base in the form of Briley Klosterman, after she led off the third with a single into center. Pogue hitting just 184 on the year. She does show bunt, but she did not pull back in time. Counts 1-1. It was a ball that ran low and inside on her. She tried to pull it back, but it was just a tad too late. Had already made an attempt at it. One ball and one strike to the Iowa catcher. Schwartz goes into the motion and the pitch. Showing bunt again. It's low and in the dirt. And Klosterman's taking advantage. And she'll run down to second. That'll go down as a wild pitch. We've seen a couple of balls have been low out of the hands of Schwartz. Wisconsin catcher went to make the pick, but couldn't field it cleanly, and Briley Klosterman advanced to second. We'll see if the bunt's on again, as now the Hawks have a runner on second and nobody out. Showing bunt is Pogue, but she pops it up and fouls it off into the netting. Kind of jabbing at it was Pogue. When you bunt, you more just want to catch it with the barrel of the bat and just play more with angles and let the ball roll where you want it to go. Pogue kind of takes a jab at it, and that's the reasoning that she fouled it off. The count's 2-2, and she fouls this one off. It was a screwball on the inner half, but she's able to spoil it, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now she's going to go over and talk to Coach Gillespie again. Coach Renee Gillespie in her 5th season at the helm of the Hawkeyes, 113 and 111 record. Skyland Pogue looking to give the Hawkeyes their first run of the series. Have a runner on second with nobody out. Briley Klosterman led off the inning with a single. And advanced to second via the wild pitch. And the 2-2 was a swinging bunt. And it's back to the pitcher, who makes the play over to first base. So Pogue does her job. I think that's what Coach Gillespie was talking to her about. She choked up and kind of like swung at it, I guess you could say. But she puts it in play, and it was purely just to move the runner over. Klosterman advanced to third, and now Nia Carter's at the plate. Runner on third, 1 out. Ground ball back up the middle. The run will score. Nia Carter beats it out for the infield single. And this game is tied. Nia Carter swinging first pitch, hits a chopper right back up the middle. It's fielded by the second baseman Crane, but she fielded it too deep. Briley Klosterman was going to score no matter what. But Nia Carter beats it out, and that goes down as an RBI single. Tatiana Roman at the plate for the Hawks now. Watches strike one on the outer half. Hawkeyes scoring their first run of the series. Evens the score in 1-1. Roman spins one foul, and is quickly behind 0-2. Nia Carter stands on first base, a threat to steal, leading base stealer on the season for the Hawkeyes this year. The 0-2 misses outside to Tatiana Roman. Tori Bennett waits on deck. Bennett has one of the 3 hits this game for the Hawkeyes. The 1-2 is grounded up the middle. Diving stop by the shortstop. She tries to roll it to Crane at second base. And now we have interference. We have interference on somebody. We have time was called. So here was a ground ball to shortstop, diving stop by Hubbard. And she tries to roll it over to Crane at second. The rollover was unsuccessful. And they're saying Nia Carter accidentally tripped Crane, the second baseman. Carter's not called out, but Carter was going to try and advance to third. She's brought back to second. That goes down as an infield single. So the third hit of the inning for the Hawkeyes. And they have runners on first and second. With 1 out, Tori Bennett watches strike 1. Counts 0-1. As I said, Tori Bennett's 1 for 1 in the game. Singled to center in the first inning. Is behind 0-1 and hits a pop fly on the infield. Crane, the second baseman, will make the catch on the dirt for the second out. Denali Lecker will try and give the Hawkeyes the lead in this 2-out opportunity. Runner in scoring position in Carter. Denali Lecker, the most powerful hitter in this Hawkeye order, is at the plate. Nia Carter, the fastest player on this Hawkeye roster, is standing on second. Lecker is 0 for 1. She popped up on the infield to retire the first inning. Watches strike 1 on the changeup. Cross at the knees, 0-1. Denali Lecker, the leading home run hitter on this team, 9 of them on the year. Really should have 10 if she had just stepped on first last weekend, a week ago today. Hits a fly ball to deep left center field. It's not going to leave the yard. And the catch is made by Bannon on the can of corn. But the Hawkeyes score their first run of the weekend and tie the game. As we head to the bottom of the third, it's 1-1. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Bottom of the third inning. Iowa even the score in the top half at 1 apiece. Their first run of the weekend, first run of the series. It took until their 15th inning at the plate came via 3 singles, a Briley Klosterman single to lead it off, and then utilizing a wild pitch and a ground ball back to the pitcher, was on third base when Nia Carter came to the plate. Nia Carter hits the infield single and the infield RBI single, and it gave the Hawkeyes their first run on the game and tied things up. Hard ground ball bouncing high over to third base is gloved by Jackson, who throws over to first for out number 1. Back to the top of the order for the Badgers, and it's Katie Keller. Keller is 0 for 1, struck out looking to lead off the first. It was the first time in which Jalen Adams was able to retire Keller in this series. Watches ball 1 up and in. Keller went 3 for 3 against Adams with a pair of doubles. Then this will likely be another double. It's back at the wall, and it's off the wall. The throw-in is a little bit late. So sliding in head first with a 1-out double off the right field wall is Katie Keller. Her third double against Jalen Adams in this series. This one was out towards right field. Was nearly a home run. These fences at the Goodman Softball Complex are a little bit shorter than the ones we see back home in Iowa City. Missed a home run by about 2 feet. Third double of the series for Katie Keller. Kayla Conwent swings first pitch, fouls it over the first base dugout. Conwent, who did have a home run earlier in today's game, it was a laser over the left field wall, her 10th homer on the year. And she's swinging hard ground ball back up the middle for a base hit. Roman Fields, her throw home is high, and sliding in safely is Katie Keller. Wisconsin takes a 2-1 lead. Hard ground ball back up the middle. Off the bat at Kayla Conwent. And Katie Keller, who has great speed, rounded third with no hesitation. Tatiana Roman's throw was just a little bit high. I don't think a perfect throw would have gotten her anyway. Wisconsin retakes the 2-1 lead after the Hawkeyes had initially tied things up. We have a runner over at first base. Replacing Conwent is Nevin. As Brooke Cuffle is at the plate, watches ball 1 up and out, and the count's 1-0. Again, it's only been one time through the order in this one, but we see that it's the top two that just continue to give Jalen Adams problems in this lineup, as the 1-0 changeup is called strike 1. Keller and Conwent went 5 for 6 between them on Friday. Everyone else went 0 for 15 against Jalen Adams. And so far today, Kayla Conwent driving in both of the runs in this game as Wisconsin takes a 2-1 lead, and Adams misses up high, 2-1 to Cuffle. Kayla Conwent, a solo home run over the left field wall, and then an RBI single back up the middle to score Keller. This one misses low, and the count is 3-1 to Brooke Cuffle. And that is a walk as ball 4 misses outside. A 1-out walk for Brooke Cuffle. And Ellie Hubbard now has an RBI opportunity. Wisconsin has 3 hits on the day. Conwent has 2 of them, and Keller has the other. 3 through 9 still waiting for their first hit against Jalen Adams. And this fastball runs high, hits off the glove of Pogue and back into the backstop. Runners will advance. They called it a wild pitch statistically. And now Wisconsin has runners on second and third with 1 out. Both teams are going to take an opportunity to talk about it right now. Perhaps Iowa's thinking about walking Hubbard as first base is open. You could load the bases and put the force play on at the plate. And then maybe Wisconsin's thinking about the squeeze. We saw a perfectly executed squeeze yesterday for the Badgers. It was a first inning bunt in which the batter bunting actually beat the throw to first base. So it went down as an RBI single. We'll see what both teams try and do now. Runners on second and third, 1 away. Wisconsin lead 2-1 in the bottom of the third frame. Iowa looking to win Game 3 of the series and avoid the sweep. A little check-in on Michigan. Minnesota still leads 1-0. It's in the bottom of the third right now. Not showing bunt was Hubbard, but Adams misses upstairs and the count's 2-0. Ellie Hubbard walked in the first inning. And this changeup misses low, so 3-0. But again, they could just be pitching around Ellie Hubbard as first base is open. And a walk would just put the force play back on at any bag. The 3-0 is pumped into the zone for strike 1. Jalen Adams taking the sign. And she steps off the rubber. Calls time. Ellie Hubbard at the plate. She shows bunt and gets it down in fair territory. Picked up by Pogue, and she tags out Nevin at the plate. Hawkeyes cut down the runner. The bunt was barely put in fair territory. Skyland Pogue, the Iowa catcher, was able to pick it up and just take 1 step backwards and tag Nevin out at the plate. Iowa gets a very important out, as now there's runners on the corners with 2 away. Wisconsin did go with the squeeze like we predicted, but it was not executed well. The bunt barely made it in fair territory. Ball 1 misses outside to Peyton Bannon. Counts 1-0. This one misses up high, 2-0. Adams kind of losing some of her command in this third inning. Has thrown a pair of walks in this game. One of them coming earlier, and is now behind 3 balls and no strikes, as this one's low and in the dirt. So back-to-back batters in which Jalen Adams has fallen behind 3-0. Last batter, she was able to come back, and of course we got that bunt play in which Pogue tagged out Nevin. This one is in there for a strike on the screwball. So the count's 3-1. And Jalen Adams trying to just limit this Wisconsin team, to still just one run despite having a beautiful scoring opportunity. Into the motion and the pitch for the 3-1. Pop fly on the infield. Camping under it is Baines, and she makes the catch for out number 3. But not before Wisconsin retakes the lead on the RBI single from Kayla Conwent. As we head to the top of the 4th, Badgers lead it 2-1. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Top of the 4th. Just last inning, Iowa scored their first run of the series. It came off of an RBI single off the bat of Nia Carter on the infield. Scoring Briley Klosterman. It was a run that tied the game, but now Wisconsin's retaken the lead, despite Iowa out-hitting the Badgers 4-3. Iowa has 1 run on 4 hits and has left 3 runners on. Wisconsin, 2 runs on 3 hits. But again, they have also left 3 runners on. Kayla Conwent had the RBI single last inning. And the Badgers had runners on 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out. But a nice play from the Iowa catcher in Skyland Pogue on a sacrifice, suicide squeeze opportunity, in which Pogue picked up the ball and tagged out the advancing runner in Nevin to cut down the run. Grace Baines watches strike 1, cross at the knees for the first pitch of the 4th. Maddie Schwartz is back out there for the Badgers. Pumps in strike 2 on the fastball, 0-2 to Baines. Schwartz has gone 3 innings, given up 4 hits, still looking for her first strikeout, so that's a good job by this Iowa team, avoiding the strikeout, putting the ball in play, making the Wisconsin defense work for it. The 0-2 is upstairs, and Baines does not chase. 1-2. 4 hits for this Iowa team through 3 innings of work. But this could be like how they did on Friday. The Bats jumped out to an explosive start hitting-wise. Had 5 hits through the first 4, but then failed to get another one. After Denali Lecker had led off the top of the 4th with a base hit, Iowa didn't get another base knock since that happened. This one was pulled foul as well. Count is still 1-2 to Grace Baines. And the off-speed's just a little bit low. Nice call by the umpire. Didn't expand the zone. Wisconsin catcher wanted that call from behind the plate. But Baines was not cheated out. Count evens at 2 apiece. And the pitch is fouled off the very end of the bat. Baines stays alive. Wisconsin leading at 2-1 over the Hawkeyes in what is both teams' last game of the regular season. Take a look over at Michigan as well. Minnesota still leads at 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Ohio State's defeating Nebraska 6-4. Check swing on Baines. And she did not go around. says our first base umpire. That was awfully close. But it said Baines did not go around on the changeup that was low and inside. And the count goes full. Schwartz into the motion and the pitch. Fly ball center field. Right at Schlosser, who makes the catch. First out of the fourth. Tough AB there for Grace Baines. Took 8 pitches to retire her. But in the end, it doesn't matter as she goes down via the F8. Sammy Diaz will bat for the Hawks. Diaz could really use a base hit. He's really been struggling. Yesterday went 0 for 2. On Friday went 0 for 2 as well. 0 for 4 in the series. Is just 1 for her last 15. The 0-1 misses outside. Count evens. 1 for her last 15 is Sammy Diaz. Who has seen her times hitting cleanup this year, was hitting 5 for much of the last couple of weeks. Hard ground ball to third base, botched by the third baseman, right to the shortstop who picks it up and fires over to first for the out. A bullet off the ball that hit off the legs of Sidney Serdashny, the Nebraska third baseman, but it bounced right to Hubbard, the shortstop, who in one motion picked it up and threw over to first to retire Sammy Diaz. A 5-6-3 putout, and what was probably one of the hardest hit balls Sammy Diaz has had in a long time. Avery Jackson for the Hawkeyes. He's ahead 1-0. Jackson is 0 for 1. Flew out to left field in the second inning. 124 hitter on the year, but a terrific glove defensively. She shows bunt, gets it down in fair territory. Barehanded pickup, the throw over, and she beats it out for the base hit. That goes down as a bunt single for Avery Jackson. Beautifully placed bunt. You couldn't have rolled it any better. So Avery Jackson, the 2-out bunt single, keeps the inning alive. Riley Klosterman's at the plate. Klosterman's 1 for 1. Singled into center field, later came around and scored. Swinging first pitch, ground ball back up the middle, gloved by Schwartz, who makes the underhand toss to first base for the out. Avery Jackson gets the 2-out hit, but not before Iowa goes 2 up, and then Avery Jackson had to hit, and she's stranded at first base. In the middle of the fourth inning, Iowa trails 2-1. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Bottom of the fourth inning. Iowa is out-hitting the Badgers despite trailing on the scoreboard. Has 5 hits to the Wisconsin 3. Now, of course, Iowa has come to bat one more time in this game, and the Hawkeyes are looking to spoil Wisconsin's senior day. Both teams' final game of the regular season. Iowa looking to spoil this game for the Wisconsin Badgers. Iowa won on their own senior day, a week ago to the day against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. But looking to spoil Wisconsin's and bolster their way in the Big Ten standings as we head into the Big Ten tournament, which starts next week. Iowa to play on Wednesday. It's just a matter of who and when. What seed are they going to get? They're going to play on Wednesday. It's just a matter of what else is going to happen. This one's pulled foul. So the count's 1-1 to Molly Schlosser. Keep looking over at those Michigan games. Michigan still trailing Minnesota 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth. Autumn Pease, who Iowa fans know only too well. Pitching the shutout right now. Bunted foul, bobbled by Pogue as she tried to make the play. But it was in foul territory. So the count's 1-2 to Schlosser. It's 6-7-8 due up for the Badgers. Into the motion and the pitch. The 1-2 changeup is called strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Jalen Adams. And the second time we've seen that patented changeup just freeze a Wisconsin hitter. She's been using it more and more as the Big Ten season has gone on. In this series, we've seen it at its highest usage rate yet. And it just keeps Wisconsin guessing. They have no idea when it's coming. And that changeup was on the outer half, catches the outside part of the zone. Jalen Adams' third strikeout of the game, counts 1-1 to the Wisconsin catcher. Wisconsin is leading it 2-1 after a pair of RBIs off the bat of Kayla Conwin. As time is called, and Angelopoulos steps out of the box, back in. Misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Angelopoulos, one of the most unique names we've had all year. And here's the patented changeup, but it is outside. And Adams falls behind, 3-1. And the 3-1 is ripped foul down the third baseline. Nice try by the Wisconsin first base coach. Tried to make the barehanded play. Did Kirsten Verdun. She tried to make the barehanded play, but that was a scorcher off the bat. Yanked foul. And saw her shaking her hand just a little bit afterwards. The full count pitch. Called strike 3. This time the fastball catches the inside corner. And Angelopoulos didn't know it was coming. 4th strikeout of the game for Jalen Adams, second one of the inning. First one was via the changeup. This one's coming on the harder stuff. And perfectly placed on the inside corner. Her second strikeout of the inning. Looking to strike out the side now to Riley Crane. But Crane swinging first pitch, line drive, and the ball goes through the legs of Tori Bennett. It might have hit off the glove of a diving Avery Jackson. Or maybe even the dive just distracted Bennett just a little bit. And it scoots right on between the legs of the Iowa shortstop and Bennett. So that's a 2-out error. Taking a look at the replay, it started just a little bit late, so I couldn't see if it hit off the glove of Jackson or if it just straight up went through Bennett's wickets. But Riley Crane keeps the inning alive, as we're going to have a pinch hitter for Skylar Sardashny. It will be Kate Linkletter. Kate Linkletter the redshirt freshman from Johnsburg, Illinois. She's hitting .158 on the year, 6 hits and 38 ABs. This changeup misses upstairs, maybe outside a little bit as well, 1-0. The redshirt freshman with the chance to come up with a big spot now for the Badgers. He is now ahead 2-0 as this screwball misses low and inside. Crane is on first base after reaching on the air. Jalen Adams has 22 unearned runs against her this season. Iowa defense tends to let her down more than others. This one misses up and out, so now 3 balls and no strikes. The third time in this game in which we've seen Jalen Adams fall behind 3-0. Both of the other first two times she came all the way back and was able to get the out. See if she can do the same now. She cannot, as this fastball is yanked upstairs. A 4-pitch walk for Linkletter, and that turns the lineup over. And it's a bad spot because Katie Keller is the one at the plate. Katie Keller is 1 for 2. Had a double off the right field wall, missed a home run by about 2 feet. 1 for 2 today, went 3 for 3 against Adams on Friday. So it was 4 for 5 against the freshman in this series. Wisconsin offense has 3 hits in this game. 1 has come from Keller, and the other 2 have come from Conwent, who will most likely re-enter the game, waiting on deck. You take out those 4 ABs from Keller and Nevin. The rest of this team is 0 for 11 in this game and went 0 for 15 against her. 0 for 15 against her on Friday, so that's 0 for 26 as everyone else in this series against Jalen Adams outside of Katie Keller and Kayla Conwent. But Keller has 4 hits, 3 of them doubles, 1 of them earlier today. She eventually came around and scored at what was that at that point the go-ahead run. But an Iowa error and now a 4-pitch walk gives Wisconsin a scoring opportunity and probably their second best hitter at the plate. Adams misses up and in for ball 1. Accuracy sometimes losing Adams in this game. Not something she typically has problems with all season. And there's the changeup, and it's called strike 1. To my memory, we've only seen 1 player actually swing at the changeup in this series, and it was Kayla Conwent who hit a single into left field. Here's a changeup and with swing. Fly ball way out in front of it was Keller. Easy fly ball. That is caught by Tatiana Roman out in center field. So the changeup continues to do work for Jalen Adams. Scoring opportunity for the Badgers, but they strand a pair, one of them in scoring position. We head to the top of the 5th. Iowa trails 2-1. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, Start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Top of the 5th inning. Hawkeyes trail by 1. Looking to put a little damper on Wisconsin's Senior Day. Wisconsin, who did their Senior Day festivities before the game. Hawkeyes take the rare approach in which they do all their festivities following the game. But Iowa got the win a week ago to the day in celebration of their seniors. There are 3 seniors on the team. And one of those 3 seniors will be coming to the plate in this inning. She waits on deck, but not before we see a pinch hitter. It was originally scheduled to be Skyland Pogue, but we will see Emma Henderson get the hitting opportunity to lead off the 5th. Henderson, who pitched in yesterday's game, first time she pitched in a long time. She threw a scoreless 4th inning. And she will pinch hit now. Hitting just about 260 on the year. Swinging first pitch. Popped fly on the right side. Running over and making the catch is the second baseman, Crane. So Emma Henderson coming off the bench and immediately swinging first pitch. And pops it off the hands. And there's one away. Back to the top of the order for the Hawkeyes in Nia Carter. Carter is 1 for 2. Had an RBI infield single. Has driven in the only run of the series for the Hawkeyes. Shows bunt, pulls back, and it's outside 1-0. You know, Maddie Schwartz is not a pitcher who strikes many people out. But when you don't strike out people and you play for contact, the pitch count's low. This Iowa team is swinging early in counts. As Carter swings early in the count, ground ball to first base, picked up and stepping on the bag is Katie Keller. But another situation in which we see these Iowa batters are aggressive early in the count. And it's not always paying off. There's quickly 2 outs now, and Maddie Schwartz has only thrown 3 pitches in this inning. 52 pitches total for the entire game. Tatiana Roman watches strike 1 on the outside corner, 0-1. Roman is 1 for 2. She also singled on the infield in that 3rd inning when the Hawkeyes scored their run. It was an infield single, a diving stop by Hubbard. Here's another ground ball on the infield, fielded by Crane. The second baseman throws over to first. And the Hawkeyes go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 5th inning. Just a 5-pitch inning for Maddie Schwartz. And the Wisconsin offense is already coming back up to bat. As we hit the 5th inning stretch, Hawks trail by 1. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
Due up to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning is Kayla Conwent, who has driven in both runs in this game for the Badgers, has 2 of their 3 hits. A solo home run in the 1st inning over the left field wall, and then an RBI single back up the middle into center field back in the 3rd. Went 2 for 3 on Friday. Went 2 for 3 yesterday. So has racked up multiple hits in all 3 games of this series. Watches ball 1 outside from Jalen Adams. 1-0. He's 6 for 8 on the series. He has 3 RBIs. Ball 2 outside on the curveball. This the last Sunday of the year, as it is just about to hit finals week starting tomorrow. As the 2-0 is yanked outside. 4th 3-0 count of the day for Jalen Adams. Again, keeping an eye on that Michigan game. They're still getting shut out, still trailing 1-0 to Minnesota in the bottom of the 5th inning up in Minneapolis. Rutgers lost earlier today as there's a ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk to Kayla Conwent. Leadoff walk's never good. Rutgers lost earlier today, 2-0 to the Northwestern Wildcats. So the Hawks don't need to worry about them. Ohio State is just 2 outs away from defeating the Nebraska Cornhuskers. His first pitch changeup is in the zone. Strike 1. Brooke Kuffels at the plate. Has a runner on first base. And another changeup. And this one's a little bit low. So the count's 1-1. Brooke Kuffel, who re-entered the game and is now playing right field. Watches the fastball miss outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kuffel is 0 for 1, still looking for her first hit against Jalen Adams in this series. Kuffel went 1 for 3 yesterday, but 0 for 2 on Friday. Another changeup, and this one misses high, I guess. Tori Bennett, the Hawkeye shortstop, whipping her head around. Can't believe that one wasn't called a strike. 3-1, 3 changeups in this AB. Not a changeup, but a ground ball. Nice stop by Avery Jackson. Throw from the knees to second, to first, not in time. But a nice stop from Avery Jackson, the Iowa third baseman, who smothers it and then makes the throw from both knees over to second to start the double play. Grace Baines tried to turn it, but it was just a tad late. A nice play from the Iowa third baseman, cutting down the lead runner, nearly turning 2. Another changeup, low and in the dirt from Jalen Adams, ball 1. So she's throwing it more prevalent, but she's not always finding the zone with it. Ellie Hubbard is 0 for 1, walked in the first inning. Gives this one a ride, but in foul territory. Down the right field line, 1-1. The 1-1 from Adams is in the zone on the fastball, 1-2. And it's that fastball mixed with that patented changeup that gives Adams so much success. You know, she's going to mix in the screwball and the curveball, of course. But when she's just keeping hitters off balance with that fastball and changeup, they have no idea what to do. There is the changeup, but it's low and in the dirt. Throwing it more and more, but we got to keep it in the zone. Because, again, these Wisconsin hitters just don't like swinging at it. So if they're going to be taking it every time, you got to put it in the zone. 2-2 on the screwball. Check swing over to first base. Didn't go. Count goes full. I thought the Hawks might have had a claim on that one. But we had to check with our first base umpire on the check swing from a left-handed batter. It's just a difficult way for him to call it. Full count pitch. Fouled off over the third base dugout. Do it all over again. 1 out in the bottom of the fifth inning. Iowa trails by 1. Brooke Kuffel is on first base. We actually had a runner in the form of Bree Mitchell. That happened a little bit earlier. So Bree Mitchell is the pinch runner over at first. The count's full. Mitchell is a threat to steal, has a pair of them already in this series. Into the motion and the pitch, and the changeup is low and in the dirt for ball 4. So that's a 1-out walk. Second walk of the inning for Jalen Adams. Her 5th one of the game. 5 walks for the freshman. And now there's a runner in scoring position. And the first pitch showing bunt, pulled back, throw down to third. Is late. Tori Bennett, hands on top of her head. Feels like that should have been an out on what was a fake bunt double steal. Oh, looking at the replay. She's out. She's out at third base, is Bree Mitchell. I'm looking at the replay. She's out. Umpires are discussing. It goes down as a double steal. I'm looking at that replay. She's definitely tagged out. A perfect throw. From Skyland Pogue, who had re-entered the game defensively. And the umpires talk about it, but Mitchell doesn't go anywhere. And she gets to stay at third base. Goes down as a double steal for Mitchell and Hubbard. They now have runners on second and third with 1 out. We already saw them try a squeeze play in this situation earlier in this game. Didn't work. Trying it again, but this one's bunted foul. The 1-1, no bunt this time, but it misses upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners on second and third with 1 out. Peyton Bannon is 0 for 2. Lined out to center and popped up on the infield. Shows bunt, gets it down. Picked up by Adams. Glove flip home. The tag. She's out! A nice play from Jalen Adams, the Iowa pitcher. Glove flip home. Grabbed by Skyland Pogue. The slide takes her out completely. Completely takes her out. But the umpire said she's out. And I'm looking at the replay, and she's safe. So, a little bit of the opposite of what we just saw, where I think she was out at third, but the umpires called her safe. Now, in this play at home, I think she slid in safely before the tag was applied. but the umpires called her out. So that's the second time today in which Wisconsin went with the squeeze, and it didn't work. Bree Mitchell out at the plate. A nice glove toss from Jalen Adams. And there are 2 away with runners on the corners. Molly Schlosser watches ball 1 outside. Schlosser is 0 for 2. Popped up and struck out. Denali Lecker getting loose down in the pen. Jalen Adams north of 90 pitches in the game. Missing outside, counts 2-0. Bannon going down to second for the defensive indifference. As this one misses outside, and it's now 3-0. Lost track of how many 3-0 counts Jalen Adams has fallen behind in this game. At least the 4th or 5th. Ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Schlosser, and the bases are loaded. 6th walk of the day for Jalen Adams, the 3rd one of the inning. We will have a pinch hitter now in the spot of Angel Opus. Our pinch hitter is Emily Bojan. Emily Bojan on the year. Not many opportunities for her thus far. 5 hits and 8 ABs. Very small sample size, but is hitting .625 in that small sample size. She comes up in a huge spot. Bases loaded, 2 out. Swinging first pitch, pop fly, diving catch is just a little bit short of Skyland Pogue. The ball's foul. But it was a ball in and off her hand. She hits it just off the handle of the bat. Popped it up in foul territory. Skyland Pogue goes for the diving catch. But full extension, she can't quite reach it. Emily Bojan, the true freshman from Chicago. Swinging second pitch, fouls it off the netting, and is now behind 0-2. So after a 4-pitch walk and the 3rd walk of the inning from Jalen Adams, Emily Bojan comes up and swinging at the first 2 pitches. Quickly behind 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-2 count. And the pitch, line drive, but caught by Tori Bennett at shortstop. A little flare on the infield, but nothing comes about. 27-pitch inning for Jalen Adams, but Wisconsin fails to score on the bases loaded opportunity. They got no runs on no hits, no errors, but of course left the bases loaded. As we head to the top of the 6th, Iowa still trailing 2-1. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Top of the 6th inning. Iowa trailing by 1, despite out-hitting the Wisconsin Badgers 5-3 over 5 innings of work. We have re-entries to tell you about. Angel Opus re-enters the game behind the plate, and Kuffel goes back out into right field after each were pinch hit and pinch ran for respectively. Torrey Bennett is leading off the top of the 6th inning. It's a ground ball to third base. Taylor made 5-3 putout for the first out of the 6th. Iowa watching their outs start to dwindle before them, in which they still trail by a run. Denali Lecker is at the plate. Has the ability to tie the game with just one swing of the bat. Hit 3 balls over the fence just last weekend. She's swinging first pitch. Hard ground ball knocked down by Keller, but Denali Lecker beats it out. That'll go down as an E3 as she tries to knock it down, but Denali Lecker running hard out of the box. He's able to reach first base safely. Keller trying to smother it, skids away from her. Second baseman Crane came over to cover, caught the flip, but not before Lecker had already stepped on the bag. It goes against Katie Keller. Looks like we should have a runner. Yes. Haley down. We'll pinch run for the Hawkeyes on first base. Grace Baines at the dish. Each team now has made one error defensively. Iowa's did not come back to haunt them as Torrey Bennett let a ball go through her legs. Throw down to second on the steal. She's out. Haley down, caught trying to steal second base. As Coach Gillespie tried to get things moving. Perfect throw. Wasn't a bad jump from down at first base either. Just wasn't enough. The count was 0-1 as the pitch was a called strike. Baines is 0 for 2. Could really use a base hit to keep this streak going. And hits a ground ball towards third base, and the throw across the diamond is made. So another 1-2-3 inning for the Hawkeyes offensively. This time just a 4-pitch inning for Maddie Schwartz. This after only throwing 5 pitches in the 5th. So the last 2 innings, Maddie Schwartz has thrown a combined 9 pitches to get 6 outs. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, Iowa still trails 2-1. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Iowa defense going back out into the field. We'll try and keep this as a one-run game. As the Hawkeyes trail 2-1. Riley Crane will lead off the inning for Wisconsin, or at least is scheduled to. 8-9-1 due up in the Wisconsin order. Jalen Adams is back out there despite having thrown 97 pitches in this game. First pitch to Crane. She shows bunt, puts it down, picked up by Adams. Throw over to first is made. So Jalen Adams gets a little bit of one pitch, one out for herself. The 1-4 put out. Skylar Serdashny, who had re-entered the game after getting pinch hit for, is the batter for Wisconsin. Serdashny is 0 for 1. Hit a hard ground ball. This one goes foul. She grounded out to Avery Jackson at third base in her first plate appearance. Due up for the Hawkeyes in the top of the 7th inning will be 7, 8, 9. Diaz, Avery Jackson, and Briley Klosterman. Up and in, ball 1. Hawkeyes having scored just 1 run in this game after getting shut out in each of the first 2 games of the series. And Jalen Adams gets her toe caught on the rubber. He is forced to throw a ball, and the count's 2-1. Jalen Adams has been in trouble all day long, but has only given up 2 runs on 3 hits. The trouble is coming from the walk department. 6 walks on the game. And that's a large reason why her pitch count is now north of 100. This one pulled foul down the third base line. Count evens. Skylar Serdashny, the Wisconsin third baseman, is at the plate. Michigan is now trailing Minnesota 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th. As here's a fly ball in shallow left field. It will drop in safely for a bloop single. Klosterman's throwing into second to keep Serdashny at first, excuse me. And that's a 1-out bloop single to turn the lineup over. And that's significant because that is the first hit of the game, or of the series, against Jalen Adams from somebody not named Katie Keller or Kayla Conwin. Before that, the entire Wisconsin team, 3 through 9 in the order, including pitch hitters, had gone 0 for 15 against her. And went 0 for 15 against her on Friday. So before that last base hit from Skylar Serdashny, Wisconsin batters not named Katie Keller or Kayla Conwin were 0 for 30 against Jalen Adams. Katie Keller is the one at the plate now. And the count is 1-1. Keller is 1 for 3 today at a double off the right field wall that was missed from going out by about 2 feet. Watches ball 2, missed low and away. Keller went 3 for 3 on Friday. 2 for 3 yesterday. Iowa looking to avoid the sweep. There's the changeup, and it's called high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Runner on first in Serdashny. A 3-1 count to Katie Keller. Hitters count. Adams has to be careful. She takes the sign into the motion and the pitch. Fly ball right center field. Back at the wall is Roman. And she lost it in the sun. Drops in at the warning track. Goes in as a double. Serdashny stops at third. 4th double of the weekend for Katie Keller. Fly ball in deep right center field. Tatiana Roman goes back to the wall. And I think she loses it at the last possible moment because she goes to shield her eyes, shield her face. And it drops right at her feet on the warning track. Goes down as a double. Katie Keller moves to 2 for 4 on the day. Kayla Conway's at the plate, and she is going to be intentionally walked. But they have to throw all 4 pitches. So Skyland Pogue is just standing out in the left-handed batter's box, and Jalen Adams is throwing him out of the reach of Kayla Conway. And there is ball 4. So that will load the bases for the Badgers. They already lead by 1. There's some boos raining down from the Wisconsin crowd. They wanted to watch Kayla Conway bat. But Coach Gillespie says, we're going to take the bat out of your hand. We will intentionally walk you and load the bases. Brooke Kuffel is the new Wisconsin batter. Coach Gillespie has gone out to talk to Jalen Adams. We might be seeing a pitching change. And this hasn't seen a change yet. Adams is putting her mask back on. I think we're just talking through some scouting reports. It's different because it's Coach Gillespie who's the one out there. It's normally pitching coach Mandy Gardner who goes out to control the defense. But we see head coach Renee Gillespie is the one talking to the Iowa defense now. Bases are loaded with only 1 out. Jalen Adams has been able to meander her way through trouble all series. She's going to need to perform one last Houdini act now to get out of this bases loaded 1-out jam and the Wisconsin 3-hole hitter at the plate. Brooke Kuffel is 0 for 2. Went 0 for 2 against Adams on Friday. 1 for 3 in yesterday's game. Back into the circle goes Adams, and she misses high, ball 1. That was the 113th pitch of the game for Jalen Adams, and with the addition of those intentional balls, she has now thrown more balls than she has strikes. It's been a good pitching day for her, but has been struggling with command. Pop fly on the infield. Sammy Diaz makes the catch in foul territory. And the runners do not advance. Wow. Big out for the Iowa defense. A sky-high pop fly along the right side. Sammy Diaz had some trouble with it. Eventually makes a spinning, turning catch right on the line behind the first base bag. But a huge out for this Iowa defense as there's now 2 away and the bases loaded. Ellie Hubbard is at the plate. Hubbard has walked twice. Swinging first pitch, fouls it off. She's walked twice and had one of those 2 bunting plays in which Wisconsin went for the squeeze. But the Iowa defense chopped down the runner at home both times. So yet to really put the ball in play is Ellie Hubbard, but she's reached base safely twice. Is behind 0-1, swinging, line drive, base hit into right field. 1 run's going to score. Rounding third, and the tag at home is made by Skyland Pogue for the 3rd and final out, but not before Wisconsin added 1 more on the RBI single from Ellie Hubbard. At the end of 6 innings, Wisconsin extends their lead. They now lead it 3-1, and Iowa is down to their last chance. We head to the top of the 7th. They trail by 2. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Top of the 7th inning. Iowa down to their last chance. They trail it 3-1 to the Wisconsin Badgers. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Strain. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Wisconsin scored 1 run to extend their lead. Michigan is on the brink of losing to Minnesota. They are down to their final out. So even if Iowa were to lose this game and fail to complete the comeback, with Michigan losing, Iowa will not drop a spot in the Big Ten standings, and they should finish 9th. They will be a visiting team first round, but if they come back and win, things could change. 1-1 count to Sammy Diaz, who's leading off the top of the 7th inning. Iowa offense has gone stagnant, has gone 3 up, 3 down in back-to-back innings. Don't have a base hit since Avery Jackson's bunt single in the top of the 4th. Swinging and missing is Sammy Diaz and is behind 1-2. 7 straight retired by Maddie Schwartz, and her pitch count is unhumanly low. The 1-2 is outside, evens the count at 2-2. The reason it's so low is because in the 5th inning, Iowa went 3 up, 3 down on just 5 pitches and followed it up in the 6th, 3 up, 3 down on 4. So Sammy Diaz in this at-bat has already matched how many pitches the entire Iowa offense saw last inning. And now she watches ball 3, and the count goes full. Maddie Schwartz has yet to walk anybody today. Also doesn't have a strikeout. Jalen Adams, her counterpart, 4 strikeouts but 7 walks. The count's full to Sammy Diaz, and the Hawks are just looking for a runner. And Diaz, fly ball, left field, foul territory, giving chase are all fielders, but none of them can get there, and it drops in foul. And that game in Minnesota has officially gone final as the Minnesota Golden Gophers shut out Michigan Wolverines. Michigan drops to 10-13 in Big Ten play, so Iowa can stay in the 9th spot even with a loss. Sammy Diaz, weak ground ball on the infield, fielded by the second baseman Crane, and the throw over to first is made, and there's 1 out in the 7th. Avery Jackson is the scheduled hitter, but she's going to get pinch hit for by the girl she's so often competing against this year in Anna Streff. Anna Streff and Avery Jackson have pretty much been competing with one another for that final infield spot. Avery Jackson, better defensively, has been getting a bulk of the starts lately, but Anna Streff will pinch hit for Jackson in the top of the 7th. Streff this year is hitting 197. Has been struggling quite a bit, to say the least. Watches strike 1. Streff is just 2 for her last 18, and that's a large reason why Avery Jackson has been starting as of late, but Streff is the better hitter between the two. And she fouls this one down the third baseline and is quickly behind 0-2. Streff, who is a second baseman when she plays, We could see her remain in the game if Iowa were to score 2 runs and force the bottom of the 7th to take place. But they're going to need a base runner now. Streff watches ball 1, low in the dirt, 1-2. It's a difficult spot for Streff because we know how hard it is when you're not in the game and you're on the bench. It's kind of easy to lose focus, and then you come back in and you have to come off the bench and come up in a big spot, and everyone expects you to get on base. Pulls this one foul. Count is still 1-2. Maddie Schwartz, who went the complete game shutout, game 1 on Friday against the Hawkeyes, has gone 6 1/3, giving up just 1 run in this one. The 1-2 to Streff. He's a ground ball on the infield. Chopping grounder fielded by the shortstop and Hubbard. And she throws over to first for out number 2. Hawkeyes are down to their final out. It'll be up to Briley Klosterman. Klosterman is 1 for 2 and scored the only run in this game for the Hawkeyes. She led off the 3rd with a single into center and eventually came around and scored on the infield RBI single from Nia Carter. Skyland Pogue is the scheduled batter to wait on deck, but you have to imagine Tristan Doster would likely get the pinch hit spot for her. Ball 1 crosses a little bit low. Klosterman back into the left-handed batter's box. The 1-0 ground ball infield, fielded by the third baseman Sardashny, who throws over for the 3rd and final out. And that'll be the ball game. Wisconsin completes the sweep of Iowa and have now won 7 straight against the Hawks. Final score, Wisconsin 3, Iowa 1. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back with some post-game coverage. You've been listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City,
where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
It's now time for our post-game coverage of this edition of Iowa Softball. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Strain. Final score, Wisconsin 3, Iowa 1. Iowa scoring just 1 run over all 3 games this weekend, as they get swept by the Wisconsin Badgers. they fall to 30-26 on the season overall and 10-13 in conference play. They will more than likely be the 9 seed in the Big Ten standings. And as every game has gone final, if the Big Ten will update, Iowa, the 9th seed, will more than likely play the Ohio State Buckeyes. If things are updated correctly, they would be the visiting team against the Ohio State Buckeyes in first round game on Wednesday in Champaign. Now, they haven't set times yet or anything, so we don't know what time the Hawkeyes will play, but they will be playing on Wednesday, and I have to imagine it is against the Ohio State Buckeyes, a team the Hawkeyes have not played yet this year. So, it'll be a brand new adventure. If we take a look back at this game, Iowa, the Bats, it's the same way it happened on Friday, in which the Bats were alive early, alive and active, but 10 straight Hawkeyes were retired to close out the game, a game in which the offense just went stagnant as well. Not a single Iowa player tallied multiple hits. Nia Carter, Tatiana Roman, Tori Bennett, Avery Jackson, and Briley Klosterman were the 5 Hawkeyes who tallied a hit, all 5 of them singles, including Avery Jackson's, who was a bunt single. We see Briley Klosterman is the one who scored in this game for the Hawkeyes. She led off the third with a single into center field, advanced to second on a wild pitch, and then Skyland Pogue, who grounded out to the pitcher, advanced Klosterman to third, and then Nia Carter hit an infield RBI single, which tied the game for the Hawkeyes and made it a 1-1 score. But they were not able to push across another run after that, their only run of the weekend. So in the 19 innings that they came to the plate, they scored just 1 run. If we include what happened 2 weeks ago at Minnesota, in which they scored just 1 run in 23 innings, it's an Iowa offense that struggles in Big Ten road games. In the last 42 innings, batting on the road in Big Ten games, they scored just 2 runs. Now, it's not going to be a true road game when they're in the Big Ten, but they will be playing in Champaign, Illinois, and look to avoid ending their season on a bitter note. Get swept by the Wisconsin Badgers to close out the regular season. Have lost 7 straight to Wisconsin in 13 of the last 14. And that's just going to about do it for our post-game coverage of this game. Iowa loses by a final score of 3-1. Everybody, I am Lucas Strain. It's been my pleasure to announce all Iowa softball games for you this regular season. Look forward to continuing it into the postseason, however far the Iowa Hawkeyes may travel. But again, final score here, 3-1 in favor of Wisconsin. Iowa returns on Wednesday. Wherever you may be, have a good night, everybody. And as always, go Hawks.
Iowa Hawkeye Softball has been brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.